The dream. The next day, after I'd got over the fucking dead rat saga, Steve came over for a smoke and a can of lager. But having just killed Jenna's rats, I had to now look twice, as almost unbelievably it appeared I now had mice. Well, at least one rodent anyway, because I watched him scamper by. I asked Steve if he had seen it too. He said, "There's the little guy." The mouse darted round my sofa and went off into a hole. Perhaps he was the rodent ghost come to nibble at my soul. Steve went home a little later, so I went off to bed to finally recover from 3 days spent off my head. But instead of just nodding off, I kept jolting up in shock. I thought someone could be breaking in and that maybe I should lock the kitchen door, but instead I thought I'd just lay there and avoid thinking of any other stuff that would make me paranoid. In the end, I went and got a kitchen knife to take to bed with me just in case. There really were people outside trying to break into my place. I snuggled up into my pillow, but then I started to hear talking. There's definitely someone there, I thought. But I was, in fact, sleepwalking. I'd thought that I was wide awake as I went into the yard with a kitchen knife in my right hand, trying to be hard. I was shouting at the phantom robbers that actually weren't there. And it was then that I awakened, but in no underwear, outside my flat late at night, naked, with a knife. I started thinking maybe I've got issues in my life. So I went back to my bedroom, thinking maybe I've gone mad. Unless, of course, the actual cause was all those nasty pills I'd had. So this time, when I got into bed, I thought I'd just be calm. I'd put the kitchen knife away so as not to cause some harm to myself or any bystanders who might get in my way. If I went into sleepwalk mode and out my flat I strayed, I started dreaming once again. And again, I thought it was real. I thought Steve was in my front room, and to him I tried to squeal, "Help me, Steve, the burglars!" And then I just blanked out. I still thought that this was happening and had not a single doubt that I'd just woke up in hospital with a doctor at my side, telling me they'd done a load of tests and what medicines they'd tried. Then came the man from Men in Black, who came over for a word. He said, "You might not believe this, and you may think it is absurd, but the intruders you acknowledged were dead people from the past, and I'm going to take you with me so you can have a blast at pointing out more visions of people that have died." He then walked me through the hospital, but when I got outside, I was now out in a graveyard, which had appeared instead. There was a demon with a garden fork which was pointing at my head. I then felt the prongs of that garden fork piercing through my brain, which is when I reawakened for the second time again. Only this time I was crying and shaking like a leaf, looking around my bedroom in total disbelief, thinking I've had a few bad dreams, but that one was fucking scary. If I get offered those green pills again, I think I'll be more wary, as I was feeling quite shook up after that ordeal. I even had to convince myself that none of it was real. So my advice is don't take strange greenies and don't leave pet rats to rot, or you could end up just like me and completely lose the plot. Told you he looked like a paedophile. Andy Marsh took us up to Newcastle for a Scottish Power course, the us being me and Luke, his awesome sales force. And every night that we were up there, he'd pay for the guys, all doing training, to get pissed down the fucking tune. And no one was complaining. 5 nights in a row I got drunk on Andy Marsh's money. I'd known Andy now for several years, but this time he acted funny. That's not funny ha-ha, by the way, that's funny something's wrong. I waited for a revelation, and it didn't take him long, because a few weeks later he verified what I had always thought. He confessed to touching children, and now was due in court. About a year before he'd been charged, for kiting credit cards no less, and was given community service, but that's what got him in this mess. See, his community work, they decided, should be helping kids in school. I mean, the guy looked like a fucking paedophile, so you'd think that as a rule, it wouldn't be a good idea to have him teach a kid. So it's no wonder allegations came that Andy Marsh's hand had slid under the desk where he was sat helping little girls read books. I just don't get who put him there considering how he looks. Anyway, Andy went to court, and to the tune of lots of cheers, woohoo, clap, 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 got sentenced to incarceration for a maximum 2 years.